Hey, welcome back to the homestead. Today we're going to be planting 2 trees and 3 bushes, starting with this reed avocado. Before we get into it, I'm going to give you a little tour of the area and show you the layout here. So starting with this area, this is the reed avocado. It's going to go sandwiched in between these, this orange there, lemon there, and lime over there. I measured it out. It has enough room to go 6 feet in all directions, if not a little more, so a 12-foot canopy. So this should be just fine, and we're hoping that this will grow up tall and block off some of that section of the yard or of the road, so it encloses in the yard a little bit more. Then we're going to come over here, and we've got a Satsuma Mandarin. So this is going over here, and it has plenty of space. It can even go out 4 feet in all directions for an 8-foot canopy. And this is a dwarf, so that 8 feet should be just fine. And then we're gonna come up over behind here, and we've got 3 dwarf mulberry bushes. These are gonna be around this area, and plenty of room. It's got more than enough room from the mandarin, and then the tight side could end up being that other avocado tree, but I think it will be fine. These aren't gonna get too huge, and we can preen them to size. And they're at least 7 to 8 feet from the trunk of that avocado tree, so this should work out just great. Alright, so I got my hole dug, ready to go. Found some nice worms in there. So this soil is pretty good. Look at that big boy. So if you remember the last avocado video, I overdug down and wide, and you know, I've done some more research, and a lot of people are saying you just don't need to do that. Just dig the size of the pot, so that's what we're doing today. And yeah, you don't want to add anything when you plant these. Also, no fertilizer, no amendments, nothing like that. If you do have an extreme clay, you can add a little bit of sand in with it, mix some sand into the whole area, but you don't add compost or any organic matter. These like to be just in basically dirt. So next is deciding which way to orient this. At the end of the day, it's probably not a huge deal. It'll figure out where it wants to go, but I decided to have these 2 ones pointing that way. This will come up and hopefully shade the trunk a little better. So we're gonna pop it out and put it in now. Alright, that was a bit of a pain, but we got it out. And nothing to do, the roots are fine, no root bound, so I'm just gonna put it in. Alright, so I actually lifted it up quite a bit. That hole was even too low. This is basically 4 to 6 inches of a hole. It's sitting in there. It's gonna be higher than grade up here, so I don't want it too low, stuck in there getting staying too damp. So yeah, this is a reed avocado. Said to be very tasty. It's said to be creamy, smooth, flavorful. It has a nice sized fruit too, and these will be ripening up. Wow, look at that guy. These will be ripening up a different time of year from the Haas, so this will be nice. It's another way to get more avocados throughout the year. And these trees are said to grow pretty tall, so more on the tall side, or as far as the shape, a little more on the tall side as opposed to wide and bushy. So this is a good one for this spot to go up where it has more room, not wide into the other trees, and that also blocks out that part of the road, so that's what we're hoping for over there. All right, so that's planted in. It was that easy and quick. I only could find this in a 5-gallon. I would have got it in a 15-gallon, but it seems around here that most of the nurseries only carry Haas in 15-gallon, so I just was able to find this in a 5. But it's a beautiful plant, looks very healthy, nice rich green foliage on it. So now I'm gonna pull this little weak nursery stake and restake it with a nice thick wood stake. Okay, so now we're gonna stake it in. I've got this longer wood stake. This is the one that it came with, just totally insufficient. So first just gonna drive this into the ground. All right, so that's firmly planted down into the ground. Next is just tie it up. What I like to use is this elastic band. It's stretchy, so that if the plant, grows or moves, it's not going to choke it off or cut into the plant. So just gonna first make a couple of ties on here. All right, so I've got 2 ties on there. It's not incredibly tight. It's got a little room to play. And I pulled it below this top split, so this will now grow up wherever it wants to go. As it gets taller and taller, I'll just keep tying it on until it's ready to remove the stake, which is down the road quite a ways. So gonna just water this in nice and good and move on to the next mandarin tree. All right, so now we're over to the Satsuma Mandarin. Just gonna go and get into it and plant this baby in the ground. All right, so got that hole ready. Same with the avocado. Gonna plant it a little above grade just to increase the drainage. Increased drainage never hurt anything. That's a good thing to have. So we're gonna pull back out, get it out of the pot, and send her in. No. Oh, okay. This thing is super heavy. Just gonna put this extra bit of soil in there. Rock.
What's a sunflower? A sunflower.
Really?
Yeah, what?
2 rocks in their pot. 3? Found a little rock in there. There was 4 of these nice sized rocks in the bottom of that pot, so not sure why, but got those out now. Some even smaller.
Dad, are you talking to Mommy?
Talking to the camera.
It looks like charcoal.
Yeah, a number of these rocks, I don't know why. If you know why, let me know. But just clearing them out of there and leveling out the soil. And I'm gonna drop it in now. And the roots don't seem too root bound, but I'm just gonna loosen them up a little. Yeah, they're not bad at all. Bring it down. All right, so the mandarin is in. Got a nice mound around it. Really happy with the way this one went in. And this soil's full of worms. This is really great. So these 2, since they're bigger trees, they're gonna get on the gray water. I'm gonna put that on, probably off camera, I want to plant everything first, but I'm going to put that on gray water, so you might see it in this video, or maybe not. You may see it in the next video. But going to water this in, and then we're going to move on and check out those mulberry bushes. Okay, so now we're on to these mulberry bushes. This is a dwarf black mulberry. It says this bush form of mulberry continuously produces sweet blackberry-like fruit throughout the season. A great choice for container gardening. Minor pruning will keep the plant compact. Mature height 6 to 8 feet if grown in the ground. Widely adapted, self-fruitful. And USDA zones 5 to 11. And we're in zone 10 here, so this is great. Says fruiting mulberry. This is from the Dave Wilson Nursery. I did quite a bit of searching online and couldn't find much about these. Looked on Google and YouTube and all that, and really couldn't come up with much. So we're gonna have to see how this works out and give it a shot. Okay, not a very deep hole because I don't think this thing's gonna have much roots on it. But we're gonna go ahead and drop it in. Okay, yeah, look, so at the nursery he said they had just repotted these into the 5 gallons. So he actually gave me the price at this pot size. So yeah, you can see it had just been in there, nothing had changed. So I'm just gonna break this up a little bit, loosen some of that root. These are pretty tight actually. Yeah, anytime they're that tight, yeah, you definitely want to loosen that up. Okay. So that's too low right there. But I'm going to dump this nursery soil in and then lift it up. All right, so that one's in. I'm gonna plant the other 2 and then we're gonna set them up on irrigation. So these 3 are gonna go on a timed drip system. If you have experience with these mulberry bushes in the bush form, I see so many videos about trees, but if you have experience with the bush form, please let me know. Drop a comment down below. For that matter, why don't you just go ahead and drop a comment anyways. Commenting really helps the channel. YouTube sees discussions going on and that helps them know people like the video, so it does better in the algorithm. So please do me a favor and just drop a comment. But yeah, I'm gonna go and plant the others 2 and then we'll go from there. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys how I hook up my drip timer system. So I'm over here at the hose where I've got just a little branch there. Split, so I'm just gonna put this on first. This is pressure regulator, inline pressure regulator. It's gonna take the pressure down to a 25 psi, and that's more appropriate for the drip system. So crank that on tight. Then I'm gonna go to the timer right here, and you'll notice I didn't put tape on any of the threads. You don't need thread tape if there's a rubber seal ring in there, which there is, so you don't need any tape. So we're gonna crank that on tight. All right, so that's on. These are both hand tight, but they're pretty tight for hand tight, so it's tight enough. You take your hose adapter, and this threads on to the pipe here, and that's gonna convert us over to drip hose size. So that's our setup with our split here, pressure regulator, timer, and hose adapter. So now it's as simple as just pushing in the standard 1/2-inch drip hose. You just push that in. All right, so that's all set up now. The hose is pushed in, and I've spun this down, so that's going vertical down, so it's less likely to get broken or have someone bump into it. And then there's your control center. So I will go ahead and program that afterwards. All right, so we got the drip hose now over to the mulberry bushes. Now I'm going to show you how I connect up the sprayers on them. So I've got here these adjustable sprayers on spikes. Gonna connect them with a 1/4-inch hose, so I'll show you that. So first I'm gonna pop a hole in the drip hose. Then this comes with a transfer barb right there. So I'm gonna pull that off and poke it in and push it in. That's all you do. All right, so that's the transfer barb, that's on now. Then I take my 1/4-inch hose, push that on. So that's on nice and snug, pushed all the way on. Then we take our sprayer and we're just gonna push that end into the hose. So that's on. Now the great thing about this is I can move it around wherever I want and get water all over the place, so it's not just the same spot getting water at all times. So that's in. I'm gonna do the others and then we're gonna test it out and see how it works. All right, so we are successful. It took a few tries off camera. I didn't run tape, but that one blew the head off. It was too loose. So that was pretty funny. It was shooting 10 feet in the air. But yeah, I tuned them up. These are fully adjustable sprayers. So watch this. Turn it that way and you get a lot more. Turn it that, it's spraying out about a 4 feet diameter, or yeah, about a 4 feet diameter. And then you can tune it down. You can tune it all the way down to just a drip. So that's just like a drip fitting. It's very mild. And I'm leaving them right there. So that's the one. There's the other. And there's the other. So these are the 3 mulberry bushes. And they're on drip. The new Satsuma Mandarin there, and the reed avocado. It's now in the shade. These are gonna be on gray water. I'm gonna set that up another time. So that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe if you're not already. Give us a big thumbs up. And if you don't mind, drop a comment down below. That'll really help the channel. Thanks. See you on the next one.